Hey everyone, I'm Stefan. This is Graham.
Hey,
And this is Travis.
So,
And we are three different ones. Last year we compiled a list of albums we think are interesting and now talk about them. And today we are talking about Blood on the Tracks, Bob Dylan's 15th freaking album. We're going to go through every song in this listing and then give our overall scores for it at the end. This is one of Dylan's best-selling albums, and it has become one of his more famous ones. Kind of a mixed critical reception when it first came out. It was not. I mean, now the cover is pretty famous, and it's a lot of the songs on it are still really they're very they're very popular even today. They got I think a few of them ended up on one of the Rock Band games that came out.
Tangled Up in
Strangely,
Blue.
yeah,
oh, did
yeah,
it really?
Yes, it
yep,
did.
yep. And so it's considered. It definitely the massive opinion of it definitely went up as it got older. This is there's a lot of autobiographical songs in here. At least that seems to be what people think. This is a very interesting case of an artist denying that their own life and personal experiences influenced their work. You see this sometimes with some novelists who have say like, no, I don't use parables. Like it's not about me, and that's going on in this album. Strangely, Bob Dylan continues to deny that anything in his personal life influenced the songs on here. uh Personally, I think that's bullshit. I agree with, like, I mean, pretty much anyone who's listened to this album feels like it's taken directly out of his personal experience. This His first marriage was kind of imploding, and him having an affair with a Columbia Records employee certainly didn't help that. And I think that absolutely fueled these songs. I guess it's kind of funny that Dylan is still denying it, but that's just kind of one of the quirks from Blood on the Tracks. I assume both of y'all had heard of this album before.
Yes.
No,
Now,
Oh, really?
no, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Stefan.
okay. Okay.
Now, Stefan, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it true that the inspiration for the name of this album was after hearing Smoke on the Water?
What?
I had not heard that.
I'm totally kidding.
I, I mean, Dylan's such a weird guy. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
Right? Is that a line from Smoke on the Water, Blood on the Tracks?
No, I just thought it was a funny, similar phrase: "Smoke on the water, blood on the tracks."
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just being dumb.
um, but yeah, what
Maybe
you're
the other way around.
um, Steph, what you're saying about him denying that is, yeah, that's definitely what I've always read, and I feel like Dylan was one of the first songwriters to be. I don't know. People were always trying to figure out what he meant by
Yes.
his lyrics, like from
Yes.
the early days in the '60s with the political songs. And I feel like he's always kind of played around with that and like enjoyed kind of frustrating the critics and the fans even.
Sure.
Um, and yeah, I think it's just another example of him kind of not, you know, giving in to that pressure to be like, so explain what this means or like give this a clear meaning. Like he's one of those guys. It's like, I'm not going to tell you what it's about. I might even frustrate you more and like tell you that it's all based on. I think he said it's all based on like Chekhov stories or something.
Yeah, I saw that.
Uh, which could just be him totally goofing. I mean, I'm sure he read those, and there
Yeah,
probably is some, but I just feel like he's one of those guys that doesn't really think of songs in those terms where it's like, oh, this is
yeah,
about this. It's like I
yeah,
think he's always pulling from like so many different places, but he's also just kind of being a curmudgeon and
yes,
he's
yes,
beaten down by the freaking critics and the fans. Like,
yeah.
um,
Especially by this point in his
yeah, this was
career.
kind of like a comeback for him because
Yeah.
I think he was very like burnt out from his fame
Oh
in the
yeah.
'60s.
This is
Get
post motorcycle crash, so he had like vanished from the music
yeah,
scene for several years before this came out.
yeah. I mean, he had albums consistently, and they weren't that great. Like
Yeah.
this was kind of like his return to greatness. Like a lot, say this is the Dylan masterpiece, and we'll we'll see what we think at the
Yeah.
end. But yeah, it's incredible that this is his 15th album.
I know.
Like
I know.
Golly.
how many people have made a 15th album, let alone one that's like maybe
Great.
considered your best?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, just
That's a great point.
that
It's
alone is so impressive.
To
yes it
still have
is.
legitimate material that far in.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Um so
Pretty great way to start it off, huh?
yes. Yes. This was one, I heard as a kid.
Oh yeah.
Um I feel like this gets some radio play.
Oh
Tangled Up in
yes.
Blue? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's kind of funny to me that it was on Rock Band. It seems like a very un-Rock Band song. Really, any Dylan
Dude, it
song.
was fun.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
on drums.
It's fun to. Yeah, I've got to say, just the drum sound is
Mm,
so good.
yeah,
So good. Like, just the tone is phenomenal.
and I don't feel like that's something I usually associate with Dylan. Is like, oh, check out the drums on this song, but like this one in particular,
Yeah.
it's strong.
Man, just the overall arrangements on everything on this album. I won't get into it too much right now, but it's just really good.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love, the on Tangled Up in Blue. It's just kind of got this rolling, and then it's like when it releases to go like into the main, if you can even call it a chorus. I just love
right.
that. Like the snare is just like, oh, there's the release right into it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's so simple, but it just works so well,
yeah, yeah.
and it feels good. I don't know. I like the way
Does.
that feels
Yeah,
personally.
this is a classic, um, and yeah, just not a lot of frills, but just a great sounding band.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
And
They complement him just beautifully.
yeah, yeah. Um, and this is a long opener for sure.
Doesn't
Mhm.
feel
Um,
long though.
No, it went by
I'm
quickly to me.
yeah, yeah, man. And the lyrics, um, I feel like this was kind of like the first time that he wrote stuff that at least sounded like it was autobiographical. I mean, it, you know, probably was to some extent, like we're saying, but a lot of his earlier songs were way less personal.
Mm-hmm.
but just like the story that this one tells,
Oh my God, it's
you know,
great.
from the first person point of view. I mean, the amount of
Shifting perspectives too. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's really well
yeah,
done.
It's
yeah,
solid.
it's
Very solid.
impressive.
The structure of the lyrics too. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I can't take credit for this. I think this is a Tim Hampton review, but like the way that he organized each line, it comes off like a sonnet. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
stanzas have that they're in meter. I mean, it's so beautifully done. The
Yeah,
song. I
It's
mean,
a
yeah,
just
hell of an opener.
oh my God, oh my
yeah,
goodness. Just yeah, it's gorgeous, and I never get tired of hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Dylan said it took 2 years to write this.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not
The
surprised.
song or the album?
This song,
Oh
I
Yeah.
my
mean, it's a
god.
quote of his that
Yeah.
might be kind of hokey, but it's like he said that the song took 10
Trolling.
years to live and
Yeah,
two
yeah,
years to write.
Ah,
yeah.
Um,
I buy that though, man.
yeah.
There's so much in here.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm
Seriously.
sure he didn't just work on it continuously for 2 years,
Day
but
in and day out.
you know,
His, I mean, Dylan's singing has been, parodied and, kind of teased a little bit. I think his voice sounds beautiful for this song.
Yeah, it
it's
works really well here.
it's
Yeah.
perfect for it. Yeah, Travis, one of the things I'm going to be interested to hear is what you thought of Dylan's voice, because I know that's
Yeah.
something
It's been a sticking point for me with him.
yeah, and his voice, it changed a lot like throughout his career. Like he definitely sounds different here than he does on like a Rolling Stone or something like
Yeah.
that. Like
This
he's
is to me, it's more breathy. It's not as nasally, not as whiny.
yeah, yeah. He's a little more lower register.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be, getting older. Could be, smoking all those cigarettes and joints.
Yeah.
Putting on,
Yeah. It sounds a little smoked out.
yeah, man.
But it works.
Yeah.
It works. I mean, it fits this really well, particularly
Yes.
this song.
Yeah.
It's perfect for it.
Yeah. Agreed. Anything else on Tangled Up?
Getting a simple twist of fate if you guys are.
Yes.
Yeah. So
What do y'all think?
Like I
I've heard
said,
this.
go ahead, Stefan.
Oh, sorry. I've just I've heard this song dozens of times.
Yeah.
But just listening to it, trying to be analytical, I wasn't as fond of this one as I thought I was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought this is the first time I thought the harmonica actually got a little distracting.
Oh yeah.
For me in this one. It was a little more of the speak sing going on. Yeah, I don't know. I just I thought he leaned on the minor chords a little too much too in this one. It's just things that had like I never even really thought about going through it this time. I didn't. It didn't. I mean, I loved this song the first time I heard it, and it didn't click for me this time. I don't know. I'll shut up. Travis, what did you think?
It's interesting because it kind of had the complete opposite effect on me, like leaning into some of those chords. Like the chord choices I thought were just stellar. Like the arrangement, the chord choices, I really, really enjoyed.
Huh?
And I think that's something that he does so well. It's just like maybe I wouldn't have gone there, but now that it's gone there, it makes perfect sense. And I like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just,
Sure.
I don't know. I really liked it. Great bass line.
Yes. It's funny that y'all both mentioned the chords, because Um, yeah, I feel like Dylan's songs aren't always known for their like interesting chord progressions. This might be like one of his more um I guess like unusual chord progressions.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's just crazy. I mean, it's not like a
Right.
Steely Dan song or something, but it's uh, it's got a little like surprise in there, and I
Yes.
feel like this song, like it just creates such a mood, I guess.
It's surprise at the right moments, though, to me. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's like, okay, yes, that's predictable. I expected that. And then it's like at the pivotal moment, it's like that chord choice and that moment is not where I would have gone, but I'm so glad it went there.
yeah, yeah,
And Stefan, you said it kind of annoyed you how much he was leaning into some of that kind of stuff. Like, I felt the strength of the track was leaning into those moments personally, which is funny
Yeah.
because it's the complete opposite opinion
yeah.
of what you had.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
I really liked that about it.
Nice.
I I love this song. This is one of my favorite Dylan
Mm-hmm.
songs, and maybe my favorite on the album. Um, man, that opening, the intro with the real kind of light, like strumming of the guitar, it's so like clear, um, so like dreamy. I've always loved the sound of the guitar at the beginning of this.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just such a sad sound. Um,
Which is what I like.
yeah, yeah,
I
same.
like dark and sad.
Yeah, it paints a very clear picture to me. Like, if I don't know, just a dark, sad night.
And it's
Um,
believable.
yeah.
That to me is the big thing.
Oh yeah.
it
And
I feel it.
yeah, and I've always loved the chorus on this too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't know, man. This is a great one, and again, just like Tangled Up in Blue. I mean, just line after line that's just so clever, and just tells such a long story in a single song. Like, not always a huge fan of like the big narratives in a song, but
Oh yeah, we got
this
another one
one
of
was really
those.
interesting.
Y'all
Um,
ready to move on to
yeah,
You're a Big Girl now,
Sure.
yeah,
Stefan?
I love Dylan's voice on this one. I really think that vocally it actually, even if you don't always I don't know, I think that he really belts it out in this one. And Travis, you mentioned how you feel the emotion in these songs, and that's a lot of that is rooted in that kind of unpolished, gravelly sound
Yeah,
that
it's just
his voice has.
it's just raw.
It is, it is,
There is
and
no overproduced sound or anything like that. It is what it is.
I think
yeah,
uh, I think this song has a perfect balance of kind of like it alternates really well between these sweet supple notes and a more powerful sound. A lot of the guitar is kind of plucky, which can sometimes I find that a little irritating. Not at
Mm-hmm.
all in this song. I loved it, and I thought it really reinforced the melancholy and the pain that it sounds like went into it. I really enjoyed the song.
cool.
It's funny because
Not a fan.
I again, I thought really solid chord choices. I liked the acoustic sound, like you mentioned. I think it worked well. Good track, but it really didn't do a whole lot for me personally.
Yeah.
Didn't hate it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah, fair enough. Graham, you got anything?
This is one that's kind of grown on me since I first heard it. Like I probably got this album like I don't know. It's been over 5 years. I was kind of late to this one. Like I knew the early Dylan. Then I finally got Blood on the Tracks. This one's grown on me. The intro is one of the oddest moments in a Dylan song for me. Like it for a second, it sounds like something off of a soundtrack or something. Like it's a really it doesn't quite like fit the vibe for me. But then everything changes and it kind of fits in there. But I don't know, like the opening few seconds of this song, it's always been really weird to me. And I know that's kind of vague, but
Fine.
I dig this one. I think it says something that this is track 3, and we've already had 2 pretty long, intricate, sad songs, and this one is really this one kind of fits into that category too. But it hasn't gotten old. Like
No.
there's enough like variety in the song structures and the melodies that you're not like tired of the sad vibe, the melancholy, whatever you want to call it. I like this one. It's not like one of my favorites on the album, but it's a strong one. I feel like it's got some great lines in it, some great I don't know, some great singing. Like I mean, like y'all were saying, it's very unpolished, very raw. But I think Dylan sounds great here. The emotion sounds very genuine. Yeah, solid track.
Yeah. Ready for Idiot Wind?
Yes.
Do it.
Great name for a song.
Yeah.
First and foremost, love that they busted out the organ for this one. That comes up in a couple Dylan songs, and I always think it's incorporated really well. There's apparently a more stripped down version of this song without the band. I'd be interested to hear that. I love the band in this one though.
Yeah.
I'm not. It is 8 minutes long.
Yes.
I did feel the length a little more
Mm-hmm.
than I would have liked, but all in all, I'd say it's still pretty enjoyable. What do y'all think?
I'll go.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a long song. This is another one that kind of grew on me over time, I think. I feel like this is one of Dylan's like pitchiest vocals on the album, but I love it.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know, that's a sticking point for some people, but I don't know. I've always kind of loved how he just embraced his voice and was like,
yeah,
I'm a
what I sound
songwriter.
like. Yeah.
I'm a songwriter. This is what I sound like. And I feel like I've kind of held the view over the years that a lot of the best writers are not even close to being the best singers or the best musicians or
Mhm.
players.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm a huge Neil Young fan, and his voice, super polarizing for people.
Yeah.
He wouldn't. I don't know. He wouldn't fit into some bands. But anyway, Idiot Wind is definitely it's a shift from those first 3 tracks.
Definitely.
The band comes back in. There's a real God, I don't even know how to describe the music in this one. Really, it's a little sinister.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it now. I think when I first heard it, I was like, man, this is really long. It's a little grating.
Yeah.
But man, I love this one. I think the vocal, you can really feel it, like he's pissed off or whatever. I've heard a lot of interpretations. Like, some say it's about his critics, and not just the critics, but the tabloids,
Yeah.
spreading rumors about him and whatever.
Yeah.
And him just kind of throwing it back. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say on this one.
That's a lot.
Travis,
I liked it. I liked I like the organ. Nice sounds, solid arrangement. It was a good track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just love the anger that comes through in some of these lines, man. You don't typically hear him singing like that.
I like that.
Yeah. He's pissed, man.
He's sad too.
Sad boy. He's a sad boy.
Yes.
What y'all think of You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go?
This may be one of the most depressing songs on the album, in a great way, by the way. I really like the song, but oh my god, this is just like I mean, musically, it's pretty simple and is a pretty breezy listen, I thought, but oh my gosh, there's just so much heartbreak in these lyrics. It is so, you could taste the romantic pain in this song. I mean, it's just dripping with that emotion, and it's just another masterfully written love poem almost by him. And I mean, I feel this song every time I listen to it. I when I found out that he has not played the song live in like 40, 50 years. I mean, I'm not sure he has since like the 70s. I mean, I thought that makes so much sense. I mean, just listening to it I'm like, I had to like stop listening to the album after listening to it.
Dang.
Just to get it together so I could hear the rest of the songs objectively, because due to its nature, I don't listen to it that often, and every time I do, it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah. I mean, if the goal of music and an art is to make people feel things, I mean, I don't know how you can't call this a masterpiece.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah.
So would you say this is did you say it was your favorite on the album?
I don't even know if I could. I feel like that changes so often.
Sure.
It'd be useless to do that. I mean, but it's definitely, it might be the standout track for me. It's one I see it coming, and I know it's going to be bad. It's going to make me feel bad. And I'll be damned if it doesn't every time. It's like, as I get older and I go through things and my relationships kind of wither and I struggle with stuff like this, like it's a different memory and a different experience that it kind of conjures up for me every time. And I can't think of any other song I've ever listened to that affects me the way this one does.
Man, I love it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's a great take on it. Something that stands out to me on this one, which is pretty random, is the bass line. Like, and I noticed the bass on a few songs in this album, like "Simple Twist of Fate."
Yeah.
Yep.
But like, I never really think of the bass as like a real like emotional instrument. But the bass line on this it really fits in with that kind of sad. I don't know, man. It's really hard to put my finger on it, but
Just works.
Yeah, yeah. And then something with the pacing of this album, like it's a it's not overly long, but it's like a 50+ minute album.
Mm-hmm.
But the pacing of the songs, like this is a super short one, and it's very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good way to close side one. Like you've got the long sweeping epics, Tangled Up in Blue, Simple Twist of Fate, Idiot Wind. I don't know that, even though there's kind of that mood, like sadness, a little bit of anger in there. It never gets monotonous, like in these first 5 songs. I love the song too. I don't know. This is the end of side one. I think so far, I don't have many complaints about any of the tracks. It's a very solid half.
Yeah.
Travis, what you
I agree.
think of this song?
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yep.
Y'all pretty much touched on everything I'd mention.
Yeah. The opening of side 2, you get a whole different
Little blues.
whole different vibe. Yes.
Oh my
Dylan
gosh.
blues track.
Came out of nowhere.
What'd y'all think of this one? This is kind of a deep cut.
Yeah.
So like it feels kind of out of place, but I think this is a real good song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like this is good.
Does the blues well.
Yeah, he does. No, I think it's a catchy beat. It's great guitar parts. Love the slide guitar. I like this song, man. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's great too. And yeah, it's a little bit of I feel like a little bit of a departure from the first half of the album.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't think of a ton of songs where Dylan's just doing straight up like blues. Like there are some on the early albums that I feel like I usually didn't care for, and they were a lot like maybe faster and kind of jauntier. This is just a good like slow, sad kind of like, I don't know, like drifting down a river or something. Like
oh yeah,
like that's
a great metaphor for this song.
Yeah,
this whole album, honestly.
Sure. Yeah, this one works, man.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I've been looking forward to y'all's take on the next track. If we're done with Meet Me in the Morning, do y'all have anything else?
No. I didn't love the next track.
Yeah.
You guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear me?
No.
I said I did not love Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts.
Okay, man, the audio cut out on my
Really?
end. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I just didn't hear anything. But that's my issue.
Yep.
Yeah, you didn't care for the I'm not even sure how I would characterize this song.
It's a narrative.
Yeah.
bloated 9-minute narrative.
I was gonna say it was so long. I'm like, oh, I'm
Yep.
still on the song. Ugh.
Yeah. There's a little bit of like a polka
Yep.
vibe to it. I don't know. It's that shuffle beat on the
Yeah.
drums that just keeps going throughout it.
Yep.
And there's a little
Diggy-diggy-diggy-dee.
accordion, I think.
Yes. A
Yeah,
little organ in there.
I
Yeah.
could definitely see this one losing people, and I can't say I'm a huge fan of it. I've listened to it several times though, and it I don't dislike it. Like there's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and I don't quite know that I've like wrapped my head around the whole like plot, but he's like telling like a short story in here.
Not that short.
Right.
Telling
quite a long story.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no,
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, Graham, and I think I'm with you. I used to hate this song, and
Yeah.
like so much of this album. It's just each listen, depending on where I am personally, usually affects what I think, and I've gotten to the point that I kind of like this song.
Yeah, this is one of those albums that I'll just play all the way through, and it's
Yeah.
like even this song.
Yep.
That I don't know. There's something to it. It's definitely one that I can skip.
Yeah.
If I'm just kind of picking and choosing my favorites, like
Yeah, if someone's looking to get into Dylan, I would not recommend Lily Rosemary and the Jack of Hearts.
no,
Yeah.
definitely not. Yeah, I don't really have anything else.
I mean, it's
I feel like it would be worthwhile to like break down the story and the lyrics, but I'm not gonna even attempt that right now.
I actually can, but I'd rather keep going through the album, honestly,
Yeah,
because we got more to do. But when
yeah.
we're, that can be a deep cut for 3 different ones. Me
Yeah.
going through the plot of this story.
Yes, the after hours, 3 different ones.
If you see her, say hello.
Yeah.
I need this song. I need this song at this point in this album. It's so
Right.
sweet and like inviting, and it's got a very just a longingly romantic kind of guitar part. It's a nice breath of fresh air in this album.
Cool
Yeah.
arrangement too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
I do appreciate that when people ask him about the woman in Tangier, Dylan has said that he has no idea what that lyric means.
Yeah.
It sounded good.
It did. It did it right.
Yeah. It's sometimes that's that's the truth. I mean, it's not him being evasive.
Yeah.
I kind of believe him when he says that.
Oh, yeah, me too. Oh, no, me too. I definitely believe him. I don't think
Um,
he's covering up anything.
yeah. I mean, I could see it going either way, really.
Yeah.
It could be
Master
him
troll.
just messing with people, or yeah, I like this song too, and I feel like it it fits right in there with you're gonna make me lonesome when you go.
Yeah.
You're a big girl now, like, but it's also it's kind of its own thing, like you said, Stefan. Like, it's very like sweet. It's definitely a shift in tone on this album.
Yeah.
Love it.
And yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, thematically, it totally tracks with the rest of this album. I mean, it's about like the scars of romance, but I mean, Dylan's one of those rare artists who can, make this kind of darker subject matter still really, really appealing. and
Yeah.
enjoyable to listen to.
Yes. Yeah. Still pretty sad.
Oh yeah,
But I'm a fan of the sad song, sad
yeah,
album.
definitely.
Well, that's track 8. We got
Yep,
2 more.
we sure do. Big ones too.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of good bass lines.
Oh yeah,
Mm,
okay. I actually have it. Tony Brown. He played bass on this song. I'm not sure how many of the other songs he did, but shout out to him. He's doing great
mm.
work here, and he's great on
Hmm.
this song. I
He is.
every time I hear it, I think of like, God, that bass adds so much to this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's odd to have like a standout bass player on these kind of like folk songs.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I feel like anytime I'm like, oh man, listen to the bass player, like it's on like a rock song, like a Led Zeppelin tune
yeah.
or something. But for the bass player to like stand out, even when he's playing these real subtle lines that aren't really like in your face, it says a lot.
It does.
Probably why he picked him for the band.
I would think, yeah.
This is one of my favorites on the album.
Yeah. Hard not to be, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
I mean, it really, I mean, it's essentially like 3 guitar chords, isn't it? I mean, it's a very just super stripped down
oh,
musically.
oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, but
Um,
I'm totally like, I'm riveted the whole time. Like, I am at attention. Like, I'm hearing every lyric, every note. Like, it's impressive.
yeah. These are some of my favorite lyrics on the album, and maybe just of Dylan's in general. Um, I don't know, man. It's and I don't really know if I could tell you what exactly the song is about, but I don't think it's intended to be something you could
Uh,
like let's simplify like that. Like I think all of his songs kind of have multiple interpretations.
I think there's definitely like a regret in there.
Hmm.
It seems to be like just a guy kind of reflecting on an encounter with a woman by the sound of it, and kind of d- kind of let her slip out of his life, and just didn't appreciate the the time that he had with her.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
my guess, but I mean, hey, totally about something different. This is kind of what comes to mind to me listening to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I I love the verse that's like poisoned in the bushes and blown out on the trail, hunted
Yeah,
like a crocodile ravaged in the corn.
Hmm.
I don't know,
yeah,
man.
oh yeah,
Love it.
yeah. It's it's pretty great, man.
Yeah, yeah. This kind of has an epic feel to it. Like
Yeah,
I don't know. There's something very like I don't know. It's very dark.
yeah.
Um, I don't know, man. It's really hard to put into words. Love so much about this song, but it's a top 3 on the album for sure.
I'd say so.
At times, my favorite probably.
Yeah. Travis, anything on Shelter before we
No,
wrap
I
this up?
think y'all said it all.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I Buckets of Rain. I've always liked it. I haven't always liked it as the last one on the album, but
Hmm.
on this particular listening through, it's like I can't. I think this is a perfect choice to
Yeah,
end it.
good closer.
It's just I mean you wouldn't think that the song with the lyric "buckets coming out of my ears"
Yeah, I
could
know.
affect you so strongly, but it's just God, when he simplifies everything musically, I mean, it totally accentuates the emotion that the lyrics bring out of me, and that this is one of those songs for sure.
So, Graham, you mentioned, I guess, Tangled Up in Blue took 2 years to record. Was this
Hmm.
album recorded over a couple of years?
Well, so the quote was 2 years to write.
Right.
That's
Gotcha.
Tangled Up in Blue, though,
Yeah.
specifically. I don't
Yeah.
think that's the entirety of the album.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
but yeah, that's a good question. Like, I think trying to I'm trying to find, you know,
Well, I mean, the reason I ask is because
uh-huh.
vocally, this song sounded way different. It was
Uh,
more of the Dylan I don't like the sound of. I mean, I liked
yeah,
it as a closer, but this was way more nasally, and I was like, man, that almost sounds like a different time period,
he
Dylan.
he could kind of go in and out of
Yeah,
like different voices. Like,
gotcha. Just wasn't sure if this was like a physical graffiti kind of deal.
right,
You
where it
Yeah.
know,
was like pieced together
pre and
from
post. Yeah,
it
exactly.
looks like all of this stuff was recorded in 74 and the album came out in
Gotcha.
75. So
Gotcha.
I think,
Yeah,
maybe
just a choice on his
maybe he
part.
had a cold this day or something. Um, but no,
That
I
was
think a lot of a lot of times in his career, like he kind of changes his voice and plays
gotcha.
like a different character almost, like because he did like an album or two where he like sings in a totally different way, where
Yeah,
it's more like a country thing. I want
gotcha.
to say that the album is called New Morning. Um, but I don't know. Go listen to that. And yeah, he sounds like a different guy. And a lot of
Gotcha.
people really love that version of his voice.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I was just curious. I liked the song though. I thought it was a good closer and again, good bass line.
yeah, and that guitar sound, it's like a real real plucky. I want to say that's like a specific type of guitar. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Like the tone is very, it's like very tight and punchy.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah.
Like
That's good
those.
descriptors.
I love the guitar playing on this song.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It almost has like a banjo like quality to it. But yeah, this is in my top three of songs on this album.
Yeah.
I could
Um,
see that.
yeah, like it's right up there with Simple Twist of Fate,
Hmm.
and Shelter from the Storm. Like it's a cool one to follow Shelter from the Storm.
Right.
Shelter from the Storm, Buckets of Rain. Um,
Yeah.
and I feel like this one, it ends the album on like it's not as sad as the other songs.
Yeah. I
Yeah. Agreed.
Like there's something kind of like hopeful about it for some reason.
I'm with
Um,
you. I'm with
yeah,
you. But I do like though, because I've heard from some people find it extremely depressing. Because I think a
yeah,
lot of people take buckets of rain as like it's like a metaphor for like baggage, just like
yeah,
emotional dead weight that you can't
sure,
let yourself go. But I think that adds to the song's greatness, that it can be interpreted into completely opposite ways. Because I'm like you, I definitely see this as more a little more hopeful and a little more forward looking than a lot of
yeah.
these other songs. which is
Yeah.
all about like being trapped in the past and
Mhm.
consumed with the memories and the emotional hangups that they have on you. But yeah, this one I do think it's more slightly more optimistic, and I like that about it.
Yeah, it's like he's kind of like, it's like I'm sad, but I'm kind of like just kind of
Hopeful.
reflecting on it.
Yeah,
It's like life is sad, life is a bust. All you can do is do what you must.
great lyric.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, real
Great.
simple, but just kind of like, yeah, man, I'm taking it in stride. Um, you know, and then yeah, I like the clever. It's like, I like your smile, the way you move your hips, everything about you is bringing me misery.
It's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
This
part
is
of
one of
it, man.
the shorter songs, and has fewer lyrics than the others.
Yep.
There's those instrumental breaks with that guitar I love.
Yeah.
Um, Ever notice kind of like an Adam Sandler quality to his voice?
Have not
I haven't.
honestly.
Yeah,
I I feel like
there's
Adam Sandler kind of has like a childlike quality when he sings.
yeah, yeah. It's I've actually heard Sandler do like a cover of a Dylan song. And
Okay,
he did it like in a serious way too, and it was pretty good.
nice.
But like I don't know, that they can both get into that kind of nasally
Yeah.
thing. I don't know, that's just a random note. I can't remember the song, but I want to say it was something off Blood on the Tracks.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay, I'll have to look that up. I want to see that.
yeah, yeah, it's on like Letterman.
Oh, nice.
It's
Okay.
like
Wow.
yeah, it's Sandler with like full band. It's it's
Okay.
it's cool.
Very cool.
Anyway, we have any more thoughts on Buckets of Rain?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but I could talk so long about all these songs. So let's
Yeah.
get to the let's hit the wrap up.
All right. Well,
Um, I don't know how y'all. I try to like the morning before we do these recordings. I try to read back through my notes and then give it the
Hmm.
final score. Um,
mhm.
I kind of knew I wasn't gonna be able to do that with this album.
Yeah.
I just because I just it changes so much. Like I mean, all music really. Like songs affect you differently every time you
Oh
listen
yeah.
to them. I, I've never once listened to the album in its entirety and come away with it thinking, "My God, it's perfect. I wouldn't change anything." I got to give this a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Dang.
I just can't I can't really think of an album with like multiple songs that just invoke so much feeling and so
Hmm.
much just sentiment and emotion out of me, and it just the whole experience is always it's so different, and that alone is kind of thrilling and cool to me. And so I just for the impact alone that and it is the song that do it too. It's like there's nothing
Right.
else. Like I don't know all the nitty gritty details of what like went into them, or like Dylan's personal life, or like ignoring what it meant for like his career. Any of that, it doesn't matter. If this album had come out yesterday, I mean, it'd still be, I think, just if the songs are there, that they're still gonna hit me like they do. So it's yeah, I gotta say 10 out of 10, and I definitely recommend it to pretty much anybody.
That's that's a great take. I
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. That's
Um,
what do you think?
man, I'm with you. I got to give it a 10 out of 10 as well. Um, it's it's a classic. I mean, it's widely regarded as, one of the best albums of all time. And people debate what the best Dylan album is, and they, will forever. But I think long ago decided that this is the best one to listen to in its entirety. Like it has the fewest lulls. That's a
Yeah.
hard word to say, but not
Lulls.
not lulls,
Yeah.
lol, but like the fewest
Low points.
yeah, it's the strongest one
Yeah.
from start to end with
Consistent.
man, just track after track. I've listened to this album so many times, and it never really loses its shine, man.
It's awesome.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's got to be a 10. Some of my favorite songs ever. Travis, had you'd heard a couple songs off this, probably.
Right. Yes.
But this was your first
first run through the entire album, and probably my first Dylan album in its entirety.
Damn.
Wow.
Yep. I honestly, I respect and appreciate the guy and his contributions.
Sure.
I've just never really gotten into his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little folky for my taste, personally.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. With that being said, I liked it a lot more than I expected to.
Great.
I would give it a somewhere between a 7 and a 7.5.
Nice. Okay.
Which
For your
is
first
a lot
Dylan
higher. Yeah, a lot higher than I expected from me. So
Yeah.
no,
Man,
it was much more tolerable for me than some of the stuff I'd heard of
yeah.
his. If that makes any sense.
That's good.
I think from a songwriting standpoint, it was very impressive, amazing.
Yeah.
Just, me personally, I'd have to be in a certain mood, I think, to go put this one on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
it's not one I listen to on the reg.
Right.
Oh yeah, no.
And I just say that in the sense, I listen to what I listen to, and this would not come up in my rotation ever, but now, maybe it would.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a time where I put a couple of these tracks on. So I'm glad I listened to it. I would definitely recommend it. I think the songwriting's very impressive here.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Really good tracks.
Yeah. And I don't think I mentioned, but I would recommend it as well. It's just, I don't know, man. It's like listening to Sergeant Pepper or like Dark Side of the Moon. It's like you've got to hear it. It's just one of those cultural. I don't know.
I like that you're saying that. I agree. I feel like a lot of hardcore Dylan fans might point to some of his other albums, but I think I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think this might be my favorite of his.
Yeah. And I love those earlier ones too. Like, they have some of my favorite tracks, but I don't think he ever made something that was so like cohesive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very consistent.
Yeah.
I'd say that.
Yeah.
And fortunately, it was a consistent that that I could sit and listen through and enjoy it.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely glad I checked it out.
Awesome.
I'm too. Glad you liked it.
It's funny because I expected to really dislike this and really like the Jellyfish album, and it was the complete opposite.
I kind of had a feeling you were going to like this one more.
Yeah.
But yeah, regardless, like I'm glad you dug it.
Yeah, it was an interesting week for me. They were both way out of my realm. So
yeah,
but
cool,
I'm glad.
Man.
Absolutely.
All right.
Surge.
I actually have one more tidbit
Yeah.
on Dylan. Did y'all know Public Enemy put out a song about 14 years ago called "Long and Winding Road"?
No.
They
No.
did, and it is literally stuffed with references to Dylan songs.
Really?
I heard it very
Whining?
recently.
Whining road?
Whining like bitching.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is a parody. Which when I saw that, I thought like, oh, it might be another Elvis situation who they've famously called out in some of their songs. Chuck D is apparently a Bob Dylan fanboy.
Oh.
Which I think makes complete sense.
Yes.
It was like listening to it. I mean, they it's not just one throwaway line either. I mean, they reference blood on the tracks in that song.
Very cool.
And that's one of
It's interesting.
It is, and it's why I would recommend this to anybody. I don't really care what the taste is. I feel like, I mean, people will recognize a good song when they hear it.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of that, like they know, they can tell when something's good.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I would definitely say to anybody to give it a chance. Can't guarantee you'll like or appreciate it, but I do think it deserves a listen.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Because I mean, that's kind of how I felt about it. It's like there's no denying that this is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Might not be my thing, but it's very good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it would make sense that like a hip hop guy who's, you know, into words, you know,
yeah, clever lyrics.
Those things. But yeah, I mean, if you're into, you know, stringing together words, writing lyrics, like he's one of the best.
No doubt.
I mean, it's a cliche at this point, but you know, one of the great lyricists.
Yeah. Lyrical wordsmith, raconteur of the highest order.
Yeah.
No doubt. I don't want to keep talking about this, but we got to go. Y'all, if you're still with us, thank you so much. As always, like the episode, share it around on social media, subscribe to the channel. If you have an album that you'd like us to cover, just drop the name in the comments. We will get to it. And go listen to Blood on the Tracks. Come on. What are you doing? Get on that. We are 3 Different Ones, and we'll see you next time.